With Stunner's ADC decode application, you can take a look at your absorbance spectra and decode it into its underlying drug and antibody spectra even without any prior drug linker spectral information. In other words, if I measure the absorbance of the ADC trastuzumab emtansine, I will get this gray line for total absorbance shown here on the left. But if I'm measuring absorbance with ADC decode on Stunner, I'll tell Stunner to use a naked antibody spectra from its analyte library in its analysis, in this case a default trastuzumab spectra, and Stunner will then calculate how much antibody is present and figure out how much absorbance is coming from the drug linker. In the graph on the right, we're seeing the antibody absorbance in blue and the drug linker absorbance in green. So this gives us a very powerful tool to analyze ADCs even when we have no a priori drug linker spectral information. Let's dive into how that works a little bit more. When you're trying to figure out what is the right antibody spectra and drug spectra, there is a range of possible answers. Here we're showing an ADC spectra in gray and the maximum possible antibody spectra as the blue dotted line, plus the corresponding drug spectra for the green dotted line. So you'll notice that the blue and the green dotted line would add up to the gray total ADC absorbance. The blue dotted line on the left for the antibody, that's the maximum absorbance possible for that antibody, since of course it can't go above the total absorbance for the ADC. And on the right would be the corresponding drug linker spectrum. But in reality, the antibody spectra is likely lower, and the complementary drug spectra higher. So, for example, this is 70% of the maximum antibody absorbance, and this is 50% of the maximum antibody absorbance. Note how the corresponding drug spectra climbs higher and higher, as you would expect. And here is the actual best fit. This gives the optimized spectra for the antibody and the drug. How do we figure out what the correct antibody absorbance is within that range of possibilities it could take? Well, Stunner's ADC decode application uses absorbance features related to tryptophan in the 280 to 300 nanometer region to determine the optimal fit and optimal antibody concentration. So Stunner can use this spectra directly in the ADC decode application. Or you can save the drug linker spectra through a simplified store spectrum experiment and use it in future experiments.
Thank you for watching this clip from Bioconjugate Insights. Follow the link in the description if you'd like to see the full webinar. For more clips like this, subscribe to our channel, and for more content covering the latest news, trends, issues and breakthroughs, check our journal webpage using the link in the description.